Hey guys, welcome to episode 30 Between the Lanes. I'm Ralph.
And I'm Ron.
We got some interesting things to talk about this week.
Interesting.
No giveaways this week. And
That's interesting.
yeah, just your usual race results, race reports, stuff like that. So whatever else pops up.
Whatever else pops up. Well, there's more to always pop up. So let's get right into the race results. And this past weekend was the annual Barn Burner Wing Car Race at Port Jeff Raceway. World famous Port Jeff Raceway, Long Island, New York. Track owner, of course, is Doug Bauer. Don't have any photos of any podiums, but I can give you the top three in the classes that race. And I believe this may have been the first race ran under the NASRA wing car rules. But I'm not 100% sure, but I think I seen something prior to this race. So in the one motor 12 class, Bob Hughes was the winner, followed by Walter B. and Nick. Hillbilly 12, Larry Pellegrini was your winner with Nick Popo second. I don't know if Nick and Nick Popo is the same person or not, but and then third was Bob Hughes. One motor group 15, Larry Pellegrini was your winner again, followed by Bob Hughes and Nick. And then Pro International 15 was won by the man on the screen, Doug Bauer, followed by Walter and Bob Hughes. 27 Light, Larry Pellegrini was your winner, followed by Bob Richards and Doug Bauer. Two motor open, Timmy Skirka won, Brad Freisner was second, Bill Skinner third. And in Group 7, Brad Freisner was your winner, followed by Chubby and Timmy Skirka. AWRA was at Cordell Model Speedway. Down your way, Ralph. Did you go?
I was unable to make it, actually.
MIA.
I had planned on going, though.
Okay. Stock cars, Charles Eldridge, who's looking over his shoulder or something there, was your winner. Track owner Eddie Cordell was second, and Dean Stewart was third. They had a kids race, and I don't have a photo of the podium in that, but Hannah was the winner, followed by Timmy, and I think it's Amaya. Legends, Eddie Cordell won, followed by Charles and Bunsen Dunn. And the Grand Prix class was won by Dean Stewart, with Eddie second and Charles Eldridge third. Do you know any of those guys besides? Is Dean Stewart a local down there, or you don't know?
I don't. Only person I know is the track owner on the right, Eddie.
Okay. ORS was at Fast Tracks, Fremont, Ohio, and in the Angle Winder class, Chris Earnhardt, clear on the left in the red shirt, was the winner, followed by Greg Fox, Cap Henry, Bud Bardos, and Tom Green. And I'm just going to throw a side note in here. You know, we had a BRS race up there a month or so ago, and in BRS we've got Retro Angle Winder. We run. You can run either a Pro Slot Big Dog or the Pro Slot FK, and I ran a Big Dog, and Chris ran an FK motor. And ORS, you have to run all FK motors. But Chris was very competitive that day. I mean, he was hanging with me the first 3 or 4 heats before I finally shook him and pulled away. But Chris ran super good that day, and I thought, when ORS comes here, he will probably run pretty good. So congratulations to Chris, probably on his obviously first ever probably ORS winner, any type of series kind of big race win. So Can-Am, Cap Henry was your winner, followed by Bud Bardos, Gil Padaky, Jason Dennis, and Greg Fox. In the F1 class, I don't have a photo, but the top 3 was Greg Fox, Cap Henry, and Alex Staudinger. The Great Lakes ISRA was at Mid-America, and in the B production class, Rob Vasca was the winner, Chuck Gambo second, that's Rob. Maybe I wrote this down wrong, but that was be Greg Van Pelt, unless he stood in for Ricky D. Euro 24th was Kevin Van Pelt, your winner, Chuck Gambo second, Ricky D third. Open 12, Rob Vasca won again with Van Pelt second, Dale Light third. In the JRL class, which is like an IndyCar, Rick Stagan was your winner, Dale Light was second, and Pro Slots John Miller was third. The NorCal Slot Car Racing Association was at Rockland, California at Fast Track Hobbies. This gentleman's name is Tom Larson, and he was the amateur winner in 3 of the 4 classes, GT12, Truck, and LMP, and I guess all 4 actually, because he also won the stock car in the amateur class. So NASCAR advanced. Tyler Colvin was the winner. Jeffrey Cove was second. Richard Matthews was third. Stock car expert, John Wilbur was your winner. Randy Kyle was second. And Jeremy Stotts was third. In the pro stock car, Justin Colvin was the winner. Gary Hooks was second. And Chris Dre was third. Top 3 overall would be Justin, Tyler, and then Jeffrey. In the advanced trucks, it was Tyler winning, Richard second, Jeffrey third. The expert, it was Randy Kyle the winner, Jeremy second, John in third. Pro had Justin winning with Chris Dre second, Gary Hooks third. LMP advanced, Jeffrey was again the winner with Brian, I think it's Nutty, I don't know which. Anyway, he was second, and Scott Cohn was third. The expert was Casey Shackelford, followed by Jeremy and Randy Kyle. And LMP Pro, Justin Colvin first, Jason Hooper second, Chris Wright in third. Group 12 advanced. We had Ray Williams first, Todd Colburn second, Jeffrey Cove third. Expert KC won again. George Hopper was second. Jeremy Stott was third. And in the pro, it was Justin Colvin winning, Jason Hooper second, and Chris Wright in third. The B&E Crosstown Challenge Series, and this was the final race of the Mid-America side. And they raced the hard body, or the hobby stock hard bodies on the LTD. Dave Garino was your winner. Jim Kreider was second. Eldon Wright was third. Dirt late model, Neil Eisler was your winner, followed by Jim Kreider and then Dave Goss. And the Mid-America side series winners, Neil Eisler in the center was the champion. Second was Jim Kreider. And Dave Goss was third in that championship. Part 2 of the annual U.S. Drag Nationals at Tri-State Raceway was held last weekend. It was all class racing. Some of these I do not have names for. Their photos were posted. No names. I know this is Dave Knapp. He was the winner in Pro 12 and AA Funny Car. Rick Blackson was the winner in the VRPS class. And you might know some of these guys, Ralph. So if you know, jump in.
Yeah, I think that's Mike Knapp, Dave's brother.
Yeah, I think that's a Knapp brother. Yep. And he was the winner in stock and MMPS. And this was the winner in Super Stock and Neo Funny Car. This gentleman was the winner in Pro 20. This gentleman was the winner in Pro Mod. And this was the winner in Top Stock. And that's Joe Bohannon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was the winner in the other Pro Stock class. He I believe he set a new record in one of the classes, and it was the first time someone had run in the 8s in that class, but I don't remember what class that was. But I guess they tore the cars down and looked at them, and everybody was legal. So
it might be that class he won. Looks like he won a Kano Mountain Motor Pro Stock.
Okay, that could have been the class. I don't know.
Which would be basically like a 16D, like a Pro Stock 16D, I believe.
Okay.
Or used to be.
Okay. Well, yeah. So. And then, like, I guess they set all kinds of, or I shouldn't say all kinds, but they set several new records along the way. So, looked like they had a good time. People were writing up, thank yous and stuff like that. It sounded like everybody had a good time. And maybe that train is getting put back on its tracks. We can only hope so. A week ago, they had the Daytona 500 race at Fast Alley Raceway in Fremont, Ohio. And Elmo in the center there, he was the winner. And Dennis Murray on the left was second, and Keith Nelson was third at the Fast Alley Daytona 500. And that's your Boom winning report.
Boom winning.
Boom winning.
Sunday.
Okay, so this weekend, we've got the Great Lakes Retro Midwest Slot Car Series at Pro Slot Raceway. The Florida Slot Car Series is at FER. What is FER, Ralph? Fast Eddie's Raceway.
Fast Eddie's Raceway.
Seeing if you knew that. So New England Retro Racing's at Modelville. Central Illinois Slot Series is at Whiskers in Gladstone, Illinois. The Mid-South Racing Association's at Hobby Max. And the Ohio Oval Series is at CF Raceway in Fremont, Ohio. And the following weekend, the 17th, the big race that weekend, of course, will be the 11th annual R4 retro race there at Tom Thumb Hobbies in Columbus, Ohio. Rocky Mountain Retro Racing Association's next week. Penn Jersey Stock Car Series is next Sunday. The North versus South, what they used to call the Rebel Series, is next weekend. B&E Series is at Chicagoland. The FNRS Midwest Series will be at South Bend. And USCA is racing the following weekend as well. So we'll mention all those again next week, of course, but there you go. Does it look good to you, Ralph?
Looks good to me.
Okay. So, a couple weeks ago on the show, we talked about GTP bodies a little bit and what they kind of started out as. And, we talked about the old JP, IMCA Worlds and stuff. So this photo is a photo of, I believe this was probably concourse. I don't think it was the finishing position. I think this was kind of like the final 6 cars. Because concourse at that event paid like $2,500.
That's some really good looking cars too.
Yeah, and these were all, I'm pretty sure all these were beta bodies made in England. Charlie Gooding, not Charlie Gooding, I'm sorry.
What year was this race? Late 80s?
1988.
88? Okay.
88 or 89, one of the two. Because there was 2 years in a row we did this. So the two Jaguar cars on the left, the Castrol 61 and the Castrol 2, those I know were all hand-painted. And the Sauber, the black Sauber number 59, the car number 62, that was hand-painted, as was the Taka Q Toyota on the end. The Minolta Toyota and the Rothmans Porsche, those had decals on them. But
now, personally, I like the Minolta Toyota, but man, those silk-cut Jags always look good in person, though.
Oh yeah, and I know that those were painted by Gary. I think I'm going to pronounce his name correct. Canal. He was the winner, I believe, and he won 2 or 3 different concourse that week, and he might have won like $3,000 or so cash.
Wow.
In just concourse money. Paid big money to win concourse.
Now, concourse at that race, was it just judged on the body, or did they flip the car over and judge?
What? I don't remember, don't recall if they looked at the bottom. I think it was all the top.
Okay.
Interior and stuff. I just don't recall. But these were like the GTP body. I mean, this when we started racing GTP in this country. Like Eurosport 24s, for example, that's the bodies we ran was 2-piece bodies. And then GTP racing, stamped steel chassis started taking off, and we raced 2-piece bodies, staple on or double stick tape on the rear wing.
Even the interior on the 2 cars on the left is just cool. You can tell everyone else just has like a regular interior, but this guy definitely went the extra mile.
Right. I mean, it's all paint. There was a little bit of Sharpie work in there on those cars, but
sure.
I mean, to see him in person is one thing. I mean, the photo doesn't do any of those cars justice. I mean, they put the rear view mirrors on the cars that they obviously probably got out of model kits or whatever. I think that one of the one of the Jaguars actually had painted on like the driver's side of the mirror like a car behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh wow, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how how detailed they got. So, but again, and we talked about maybe doing, down the road here in a couple months when things slow down, I can dig some information out. We can go through like the history of GTP bodies, kind of where they started and where they got to today. So, and then
see, to me, I mean, like, these bodies being realistic are really what like our LMP bodies are now.
Yeah, but our LMP bodies really aren't that scale either.
Yeah, but they're probably the most realistic, though.
Well, yeah, compared to GTP cars, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, because, I mean, yeah. So, because, I mean, really, we call it GTP, and we basically, the American companies were making cars based on the IMSA cars, which they did call them GTP, but and then
right.
Like at Le Mans and stuff, they were called different World Sports cars, and they never called them cars GTP.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, I mean, there's really not even a GTP car anymore, technically.
Right, because the Jaguars, they sent them over here from England to run in the IMSA GTP series.
Right.
But they were really World Sports cars, but they were still prototype cars. So we've talked about lap counters on the show and stuff, and when you look at this lap counter, do you see anything?
Are they like holding the rear tires off the ground?
No.
Okay, how does that work then?
Okay, well, what that is, that's like a mechanical lap counting system. Okay.
Oh, okay.
When I started racing, we actually, at our raceway, when I started racing, when it came back in Fort Wayne, we actually had people hand count the laps with little hand clickers. Okay. And that lasted for a while. And then at the other raceway on the other side of town, there was a big conspiracy that two wives have got together and
I win.
I'll give your husband extra laps when I'm counting him, and you give my husband. And it almost turned into a full brawl when everyone found out what had been going on for a couple weeks. So, back then, unless you bought an old American Raceways race director or you had someone that could build you a lap car, you got to remember this was all kind of before computers. You got to have like some kind of mechanical type lap counter. So, our track in Fort Wayne and another track 20 miles away, they built these like little bars that go up above the track, and they put those mechanical counters on them, and those are 4-digit counters. And there's an arm that comes out the side, and you push it down, and it, gives you a lap. Well,
yeah,
what we did was we put drinking straws down, put them up on the arm, sticking out of the counter.
Click it.
Yeah, the car runs through, clicks it. It was foolproof. So
wow. I know this is an old photo because that guy's smoking indoors.
Well, this picture's actually from down in Brazil. So
okay.
But I have told people for years, we used to have this kind of lap. And I seen this picture and I'm like, that's it. I have to share this. So, because it's kind of hard to visualize.
Yeah. Now, was there ever a situation where the power got shut off and the car would just kind of go through slow and not really click the clicker?
Well, then you would just push the car through.
But how do you know it counted or didn't count? And then I don't know. I don't know. Did it happen?
It happened. It happened. And there was times that a car would come off and go in between the straws and not touch a straw.
Yeah, right.
So that would be put back behind the straw. And
yeah, I like the ingenuity, though. It's very, very –
it was very simple, but yet so effective.
Yeah.
And, back then you could buy those counters like at surplus places for like $0.25 a piece. So you went out and got you a piece of wood and 8 counters and, for like $10 you had a lap counter.
Right.
That
That's
was
pretty cool.
That was pretty foolproof. The only downfall was up where the straw would go on, like up here on the arm. We used to just put a straight body pin through. But what would happen over time is the straw would develop a split.
Oh, yeah.
So the straw would actually move, but it didn't have any tension to move the arm. So every now and then you'd be like, you finish a heat, and it's like, wow, this guy's got no laps.
Now, upon first glance, I thought that the track power was always on, so they had some kind of device holding the rear of the car up so that nobody could get a head start, that they were going to drop everybody at once.
Drop the track stand.
Like a bike, a gauge drop or something, you know?
Right. The track I first started racing on, they just had like a light switch from off your wall underneath the track.
Uh-huh.
And we would shut that off and line the cars up, and 1, 2, 3, and they'd flip the switch and you'd take off. So
the color of the lanes is interesting, the order.
Yeah. And almost looks like there's 2 blacks. I guess that outside lane there is green.
Yeah, that's green. Green, yellow, blue, red, white, purple, black, orange.
Yep, your eyes are pretty good.
Right to left. So
another interesting picture I found was a picture of this track in Brazil. They said this was like in 1973. It's not a very big picture, but, I mean, it looks like it's American red, but it's not. Well, I thought what was interesting is you come out of the finger and you go down like what I call the short chute.
Wow, look at the waves, though.
Well, they're not waves. Cow. I mean, they're actual hills built in the track. I mean,
yeah, wow.
1, 2, up, down, and up. And then I guess, I don't know if you went into a 90 or if you went into like maybe a 45 into that triangular kind of donut. It's kind of 180 straight away to the top turn. But yeah, I thought the whoop-de-doos were quite interesting. So, and if you notice, there's a big photo back here, or a big that could be a banner or something of Emerson Fittipaldi, which of course was F1 world champion back then. So
it's also interesting that it's in like a solid concrete structure with all those.
It looks like it does.
It's all fenced off with. I mean, look how many people are just watching.
Right. Maybe it's in some kind of a shopping mall or something.
Yeah.
Like an indoor-outdoor mall or something. But yeah. And that's all that was in the photo. So, and it looks like there's just a couple of lights hanging overhead. 1, 2, 3 maybe.
Right.
Fourth one back here. But yeah, supposedly that's kind of like, early 1970s track that was in Brazil. I'm sure that someone in Brazil probably built it. I mean, it looks, of course it's a photo, but I mean, it's a really nice looking track and everything. I mean, except for the whoop-de-doos, but I don't know. Depending on what you're racing.
Pretty interesting though, yeah.
So that's all I got. That's all I got.
All right. So we brought up breakout racing on the show before.
Well, yes, we did.
I heard you may have done some breakout racing recently.
Well, you know what? It's my new song, I guess. All right, enough of that. Yes, I went breakout racing last Wednesday. So,
all right. So what'd you race? Where'd you race? Tell us.
Went down to Innovative Slots, south side. Well, not really the south side of Indianapolis. Well, yeah, I guess the south side of downtown, but not like the far south side, what I call south side.
And that was your first time there, right?
First time to Innovative.
Okay.
They got a pretty good drag racing following. It's kind of what the whole place is kind of based on is drag racing. But
what kind of road course do they have?
They have a small oval.
8 lane?
Small tri-oval, as a matter of fact. 8 lanes. Lap length is probably, I'm going to guess here, 1632, probably 50 to 60 feet on red lane is the lap length.
That's a small one, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. I know there was like kind of like two 8-foot sections in the back stretch.
Right.
And 2 in the front. So that's 32 feet, give and take some for the turns.
Yeah.
Like I said, probably 50 feet, maybe maximum on red.
Okay.
But yeah, the breakout was 2.9 seconds. You have to use stock Parma turbo type controllers, or the real low end Professor motor controller. Nothing with brake adjustment or sensitivity adjustment. Hard body cars like they run at Slot Cars R Us or Bullitt in Louisville, H&R chassis, MT5 motors. I think we actually ran.
You're on like 1-inch tires?
Yeah, the Pro Tracks front and rear. The bodies, I guess we ran fairgrounds rules because they were all kind of NASCAR based bodies, but then Mike, the car I borrowed and raced, that, thank you Dan Laycock for providing me a car and cars to choose from. Like Terry and Brad were running like 90, I think early 90s Cutlasses, those Cutlasses. Those are a pretty short length body. I ran kind of that Duster short track body that's kind of got the big fender flares. That was
right.
I did see some actual NASCAR. I mean, it's kind of funny because you've got 124 scale bodies and you got 125th scale bodies, and the 125th scale bodies, of course, are a lot shorter and a little bit narrower, and of course probably lighter weight.
Right. Yeah.
And I know the guy. I'm pretty sure the guy that finished second in the race, he ran a NASCAR 124 scale body. Brad won with Cutlass, and I think Terry was third with the Cutlass. So, breakout racing. I mean, I had a lot of fun, and everybody there we had 22 guys. I qualified, I think, 5th out of those. And when you qualify, it's wide open. Like, I mean, there's no breakout qualifying, and it's just for lane pick. So I think I set out the first 14 heats.
So, okay, hold on. So just out of curiosity, the breakout set at 3 seconds.
2.9.
Like 2.9999 or 2. Like
2.90. 2.90.
Okay. So what was the pole time then?
2:63.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
And that's on Purple Lane. So like
but the 2.90 breakouts on all 8 lanes, right?
On all 8 lanes, right.
So that's, I don't know, that's interesting, I guess.
Well, it's interesting, and okay, so
because you're gonna have to kill 3/10 every lap.
Pretty much.
If
you're going that fast, okay. Like I can tell you, the first 8 guys, because we ran a 22-man round robin. The first 8 guys, well, I shouldn't, because the first 8 guys didn't run all the way through. I think the guy who started on black and he ran all the way through. Then he was done. I think he ran the entire race and he never broke out. Okay. He was close to 290 on black, but he was running 310s or 320s on red. Okay.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that seems like the strategy right there to me.
Well, yeah, there's some strategies going on there. I mean, like, if you had a car that would run 292 all day on black,
I'd take it
and never break out, you're going to be too slow on red. They're going to kill you.
Not if somebody breaks out, though.
Well, but some of those guys have got it figured out, and that was my learning curve. Okay, so I got to the track, and Dan handed me a car, and I went out and I was running on red lane. And I figured out, well, I can run red lane as hard as I want.
Never break out.
Running high 2.9s and I'm not breaking out. Same thing on white lane. Now I'm running mid 2.5s and I'm not, or mid 2.9s, I'm not going to break out. Now when I go to green, Well, we got to be careful because every now and then we pop off at 289. So when you go to orange, well, of course.
It's worse and worse.
Yeah, so it gets worse and worse as you go. So
right.
I practiced. I thought I had, I'm like, well, I got this down. And I'm thinking, I'll start on red and kind of work my way down and work my way back up. Well, we qualify, and they start picking lanes, and I'm told, well, here with the sit-outs after purple, so if you take a sit-out and you come in, you start on black.
So what did you qualify with?
I qualified at 270, at 270, I think.
And what position qualified
I think I was
were you?
fifth.
Okay.
So.
And at that point, did you even have any idea, like, if you were in a good position, a bad position, or what was about to happen?
Well, I thought I was pretty good, and then they said, well, because I wanted to sit out, so I think I sat out the first 12 or 14 heats before I came in.
So, I mean, your strategy was just, fuck it, I'll just blip on the bottom 4 lanes.
Well, yeah, I'll blip.
Then I'll go hard once we run.
Right. Well, you have to blip the kink. There's no holding the kink wide open. Okay, so you have to blip the kink. You can hold it wide open through the bank on all 8 lanes, but you're making big time on the lower lanes by doing that.
Right.
So I figured out in practice, okay, blip the bank on every lane except green, white, and red, but just micro blip it on green and just wide open on red and white. Okay?
Right.
So anyway, so I come in on black, and of course I run the first lap, kind of feeling things out. Second lap, I don't know what my time was because it's really hard to look up and keep an eye on things because the track's so small.
Right.
So the third lap I broke out. The fourth lap I broke out. And I'm like, shit. So
were there a lot of crashes in this?
No, actually the racing was pretty clean. But every time there is a come off crash, it's a track call. Okay. So
you start breaking out and you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do here?
So I break out. And that's the third and fourth lap. So I slow down. And then I think it was the fifth and sixth lap, or sixth and seventh lap, I break out again. So I'm like, shit. So after the first heat, I'm 4 laps down. I mean, I'm 4 laps down. I mean, you're not going to get that back unless these other guys break out. So Brad came in behind me, and Brad and Terry's really good, and there's a lot of local guys that are really good at it because they've been doing it. So they've got their timing and stuff. I kind of felt that the track might have got a little faster from after I practiced, but anyway, so then I went to yellow and I broke out twice. And I broke out 8 times, and Brad had 317 and I had 310, and he might have broke out one time. Terry broke out once, but
he had 317.
If I had broke out 8 times, I would have been in the top 3 for sure. So
all right.
I want to finish in 8th, and I don't think there was anybody that did not break out. At least, well, no, I can't. Some of those other guys, they did not break out, but in the top probably 10 guys, everybody broke out at least once.
So if you go back, do you have a new strategy for next time you go?
Yeah, I need to get my rhythm down on black to be able to start on black and not break out. Because I get 4 laps the first heat. I mean, so I definitely
that's going to kill you in any kind of racing, no matter what.
Well, and see, that's the strategy. I mean, an oval is kind of a little tougher because as you go down, it gets faster.
Right.
Like I said, you could build a car to run 292 all day on black and never break out on black, but you're going to be slower as you go up the track.
Mm-hmm.
So then
I was kind of wondering what the drop-off was from red to black. I mean, if it was only like a 10th or 2/10, you might not be bad, but –
yeah, see, I don't know what my fastest breakout was on black.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't look at the counter. I mean, it could have been it probably was a 2.7 something, But there's an every 2 to 3/10 drop off from black to red.
Right.
So that even kind of, but it's all about getting your rhythm down.
Now, can you like add weight between heats?
Yeah, you could have.
I mean, we could just put like
I think you could have. Maybe I'm speaking of.
Put like 500 grams in it when you went to black or something, between heats, and then just take it off as you go to get it. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably could have. I mean, I have ideas for when I go back, if I go back, but
yeah,
it's just hard for me to go down on Wednesday nights. And
right. How's the facility though? Otherwise,
the facility's great. I mean, they have a super nice drag strip. I guess if you ask the owners, they probably maybe wish they had a little bit bigger building, but I'm sure a place fills up when they have big races. But everybody manages. I mean, the parts, the small parts area, but it was well stocked. I mean, anything you need to race there, they had pretty much, from what I could tell. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of funny because a week before or a day after the race, the week prior, I guess there was some crap about Cheater Hirschman Motors or something down there.
No boy.
Yeah.
At a round track race? On the breakout race?
A breakout race. So.
Okay.
So, before we qualify, they had like a little driver's meeting, and they started talking about possible changes or making things different for the next series or whatever. And they said, well, we want to bring up the Cheater Motor talk, and we have Ron Hirschman here tonight. And some of you guys think that Ron Hirschman's breaking in motors for people, and you're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. And I was like completely put on the spot because no one had said anything about it, So
you know what was going on.
The guy running the meeting, I think he was the owner of the track. He was like, "So Ron, are you breaking in any motors for anybody?" And I'm like, no, no. I mean, I'm not. I mean,
what would be the point in that anyway? It's a breakout race.
Well, and it's breaking in motors. Anybody can break in motors. How do you police that? I mean,
right.
So I was kind of standing over there, and I said, if I broke a motor in for you or you broke a motor in for yourself, there's no advantage if I break it in. I said, you put on a power supply or solder a couple of 9-volt batteries to it or whatever. I mean, if you don't have a power supply, and let it run in. But, yeah, I don't know what to do.
But what would it matter, though? It's a breakout race.
Well, I know.
Who cares? Yeah.
But see, here's the thing, and it's like we talk about a lot of times on the show. There's guys that aren't as fast as the fast guys. And I can assure you it's not because of their motors. It's their cars, or they just haven't figured out how to drive, or they don't have their rhythm down. Maybe they don't have their tires right. I mean, there's probably a large percentage of people that don't even know you should probably true your tires.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen racers for a long time. They just go up counter buy tires and put them on their car. It's like, you should true those. Oh, that don't make no difference. Okay.
But back in the day, that was a lot more detrimental than it is now, because at least now most people, like JK, I mean, you could get away with buying them out, two bolts and on. But back then, there was nothing like that, though.
Yeah, the tires today are a lot better out of the showcase than they were.
They're a lot more crude.
30 years ago.
They'd be two different sizes, squared edges,
the
whole deal.
And we didn't even know anything about truing tires 20, 30 years ago, basic. I mean, I guess probably 20 years ago. But when I started, again, we didn't know anything about truing tires. So you went up, you bought a pair and put them on your car, and you went out and ran them until they felt good.
Yeah.
But, we used to put wintergreen oil on them, which that changes them. And then some places we went, you could put glue on the track. So you have a horrible tire, but if you knew how to glue right, you went fast.
Right.
So, and then it all changed and got more high tech. So, yeah, that was my excitement last Wednesday night. But I had a good time. They got a good thing going on down there. And then afterwards, they had a non-breakout race. And we had 12 entries in that. I think I was fifth fastest in that. And basically what it boiled down to for me was I kind of had too fast a car for breakout, but then I had too slow a car for no breakout.
Right.
So we didn't qualify those, but a lot of guys they ran a different car in the breakout race than they did the breakout race.
You were on the same car probably.
I ran the same car in both, yeah. Because I was just having fun, just checking it out.
Right.
Bringing the worldwide viewers of Between the Lanes.
First-hand experience here on BTL.
Yes. But no, it was fun. I mean, I could find myself doing it every week if I had time to do it.
Right.
It's different. I mean, I like kind of racing hard bodies, when I get a chance. They're fun. They're cool. And, the guys we raced with were really cool. So, it was a good time.
So, awesome. That's cool. All right. What else?
It was kind of neat showing up and I just took a controller.
Just not having to do anything, right? Right. Did everybody know who you were, or you kind of like?
Nah, I don't think everyone knew who I was.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's nice to kind of slide in where nobody knows who you are too, and you kind of just get to play. You know what I mean?
Go incognito.
Except,
And Terry was my pit bitch too. That was the best part.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's nothing new.
I wasn't his; he was mine. So, it was good. So yeah, because I said, "Here, you should do this and you should do that," and it made his car better. So,
okay,
stuff he hadn't thought about, but it's like,
Does he go down there and race those often?
I'm not gonna say he races every week, but he's been down there quite often the last few months.
Okay.
So I mean, I think he's won a couple of times.
Cool.
So I mean, with every crash wreck thing being a track call, that's more of a detriment to like me because I know how to keep my car on and I can make time up on guys if they.
Sure.
But it keeps everybody close.
And why do they do that? Is it because they don't have marshals or because they think it's fair?
No, I asked that question and was told these guys don't want to get their pretty bodies tore up.
Oh.
So.
All right.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like.
I'm surprised the track owners not like, fuck it, let them smash them up so I can sell more model kits.
Well, it's kind of like if you don't want your car to get hit, why don't you go over and put on the drag strip?
Well, right. Now, I wonder how many crossovers like they have. Like, I wonder how many people are racing are drag racers. Oh,
you know what? I don't know for sure. I know that I seen on the Innovative slot they had some race results from the weekly drag races, and there was a couple of guys that's like, yeah, they raced on the oval track when I was there.
Okay.
But how many, I don't know.
Right.
We had 22. They said they've had as many as 30 guys.
That's quite a bit.
I guess if I'd have been there when they had 30, it'd have been 31. But, and there was a lot of guys missing last when, I mean, like Raymond comes up from Bullitt, but he was on vacation. And Alex Junkos wasn't there. They were testing the IndyCar somewhere. And so there was definitely 2 or 3 guys that weren't there. So that'd been 25 if they'd have been there.
Right.
So it's a good little tight knit racing group, I think.
Something different for you to do too.
Yeah, I didn't see a bunch of rivalries going on or anything.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there is.
You might not know them yet.
With Alex not being there, who knows? But Alex is all right. I just giving him a hard time.
All right, cool. Well, what else we got?
Well, you got the R4 coming up in not this weekend, the following weekend.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
11th annual. Well, what's your most memorable R4 memory? How many R4s did you run? 5?
4 or 5, something.
Okay.
Most memorable memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I
mean, okay, like I don't. You probably know exactly what year this was, or maybe maybe not the exact year, but maybe it was your second, third, or fourth year. I think it was maybe the second year or third year because you had me run your car in practice. And your Can-Am car was off the hook.
Is this going where I think it's going?
Well, I don't know if you, but was that the year that your controller?
Yeah, let's not go there.
Okay. Because what I was going to tell you, you ran really good in the
yeah. No,
and I think if I hadn't, I think you could have beat me, but you had that problem. Because you were honestly, right there.
Honestly, for me,
I know it's not a good memory, but
I have more memorable R4 memories, seeing other cool stuff happen that other people accomplished. Honestly,
okay,
like watching. You really the sweep and
the first sweep.
And just other things like that. Like when Cap finally won, or other stuff like that was probably more memorable for me, really, because there's always something cool going on, or maybe Sano Dave winning the Mac Award.
Okay,
I think Matt Bruce maybe said something in Sano Dave's memory for the Mac Award.
No, I think we awarded the award to Sano Dave. Matt awarded it to him in person.
Yeah, right. Okay, see, like that was pretty memorable to me.
Yeah, it was
that's not really a racing thing. That was just like that's just a human thing,
It was a touching moment for sure.
Yeah, stuff like that, I think, is what sticks out to me.
Right.
And just overall, the general camaraderie, really, because was just always so many people there.
Right.
So.
And there's times when guys walk into opening van doors and.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Funny stuff.
There's some good Randy memories there too. Stuff like that.
Right. Yep. Well, there's a lot of guys that, like Jay Kisling won the first year F1.
Right.
And, I don't know, when I think about it, Jay always kind of ran good there. He just won the one time. And the only other time he won there is when he won the Enduro one year, the first year of the Enduro being Randy.
Right. Those early years were just really some of the fiercest and toughest competition like I've ever seen, really.
Right.
For a few years. It's not, no disrespect to anybody racing now, but
right.
It was a lot different, it seems like.
It was kind of a different era in a way.
Yeah.
So
But no disrespect to anybody now, for sure. They're still accomplishing a hell of a lot when they win, but it does seem like the early years were just crazy tough,
Yeah, I think 2012 was probably the year of the bridge of the crossover. You know what I'm saying? Like, Willie was there, Cap was there. The guys that run the first few years were there. And now a lot of the guys that are running now were there for their first or second time.
Right. Yeah, like some of the guys, like some of the guys might not have been really who are competitive now were just kind of coming in, but they've really taken off.
Because like Willie,
I
think it was 2012 was Willie's first year. He almost won F1 that year.
Right.
I remember Dave Smirka coming maybe the third R4, first time he'd been there. And like he made all the A mains, and that was because prior to the first couple R4s, first two or three, we didn't even qualify. We just drew for races and we ran and we went over all lap totals, and then we started qualifying. And I think Dave was the first. First guy. Well, I don't know about that. There was probably a couple of us that probably all qualified in the A mains, but there's something about Dave. Dave finished. Maybe it was he finished in the top 3 or 4 the first year, which was maybe better than anybody else had done prior to that or something. There was something unique about that. I don't exactly remember what it was, but so, then, on Friday, the first year, of course, they ran Coops, Can-Am, and F1, and they had a flexi car race on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And that was after Can-Am, I guess. And then the next year, there was no flexis. Don't know if there was a third class the second year. And then I think the following year there was jail doors.
And then stock cars,
and that was the end of the fourth class.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what we ought to do is we ought to do like a "Where Are They Now" section, like.
Where are they now? Okay.
Where are they now segment. I mean, I just got to thinking of all these people that used to be at the R4.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, where are those guys now? You know?
Okay. So who comes to mind?
Probably Tom and Jeff Lauterbach.
Okay. Well, they're racing.
I know what they're doing.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
Right.
Maybe let's do a segment like that.
Okay.
Don't give it away now. But, I mean, guys like that. And, of course, guys like Jay and Santa who passed and Manta Ray who passed and, I guess maybe you could throw Ken Swanson in there.
Yeah, Jimmy Brostrom passed too.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Billy Bob.
I'd have to go back and look at all the –
Yeah, you have to go back through.
The race results, yeah.
Right.
But maybe we should do a segment like that.
Where are they now? Or what are they up to now? So, yeah. Well, think about that for next week.
Yeah. Like, I remember one year, like, it must have been like 2 in the morning, the fucking fire alarm goes off at the hotel.
Not the hotel I was at.
No, yeah, we were at the Holiday Inn that year. And
okay, yeah.
I was like, dude, I was so pissed. I remember I picked up the phone, dialed 0 to the desk. I said, is there really a fire or can I just stay in bed? And they're like, no, you got to get out. We think there's a fire. And so, like, everybody runs out. So the whole hotel was standing out. It's like 5 degrees, if that, in the middle of the night there, It's like everybody in the hotel was standing in the parking lot with, like, no clothes on, So it ended up being a false alarm. But
I can remember going to a race in Canada and being on the 4th floor of a hotel. I think this was Hamilton, Ontario. Stayed, I think, downtown at a pretty upscale hotel, maybe a Holiday Inn or something like that, up on the 4th floor. And, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning, fire alarm goes off. I mean, it was loud. And I didn't even know what it was. Like, there's just thing going, and I'm like, what is that? And then it was like 5 minutes later, it goes off again. It was kind of annoying. Like, what the hell is this? And then there was like this loudspeaker, and it's like, that this is a fire alarm, blah, 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 blah. So I remember getting up and looking out the window and seeing all the fire trucks out in front of the hotel. And I just went back to bed and went to sleep. I figured if there was really a fire, they'd probably be knocking on doors or something, or calling rooms to wake you up. They never called, but it turned out to be some false alarm. And then when we were at the Nats in Manchester, New Hampshire, I think it was Manchester, 1996 96 or 7. It was a Holiday Inn, I think. Sitting down in the lobby, I'm talking to Bob Haynes and his daughter Kim, and we're sitting there talking business, and fire trucks pull up. Firemen come in, and they're pulling hoses, and we're just kind of sitting there watching this, and they had to unlock the elevator. The elevators must have went into a shutdown or something automatically. Anyway, they unlocked the elevator and they go up. And I remember the next thing I remember is all this water running down the walls.
Yeah.
In this lobby. And a famous slot racer, which will be unnamed, supposedly had knocked one of those shower heads, the rotating thing.
Oh.
Knocked the head off of it in front of somebody's hotel room. I guess maybe not realizing that this would bring the fire department. And so what turned out to be a joke turned out to be quite a commotion.
That's not so much a joke in the end.
But nobody went to jail. Nobody got caught. But
yeah.
So it was an interesting. So those are the only times I can remember fire trucks being involved in slot car races. Because actually that was the USRA Nats, and it was being held in the hotel, like in a separate part of the hotel. But
right,
like in a conference room or meeting room or So yeah, I've been to that's the only slot race I think I've ever been to. The fire truck showed up at.
I've seen police show up. I don't know about a fire truck, to be honest with you.
Trying to think of
fire truck I can think of.
I don't recall ever seeing the police show up. I've been in there a couple of races where the police probably should have shown up, but
yeah.
I think I've only seen fisticuffs at maybe 2 or 3 races. Actual physical.
I've seen a gun-to-gun, but the police didn't come. The hillbillies kind of settled that one themselves.
Must have been a southern race.
It was, yes. Yes.
And what was we arguing over?
Corner marshaling.
Corner marshaling.
Yes.
Did one of the marshals actually have a gun?
Yes. And
he was kind of a true marshal.
Yeah, and then the other one went out to his pickup truck and got his
gun. Did he pull it out of the rack in the back window, or was it? Oh yeah, rifle.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Nice. And was it all settled by the time the police got there?
Well, the police never came. They kind of settled it. One of them was extremely intoxicated, and it kind of got settled before the police came. So.
Okay, now did the police show up?
No, police never came. No, they weren't called. They settled it before anybody called.
Said they settled before the police came, but
the police never came.
They settled before the police maybe were called.
Right. I think everyone was really just in shock, and they were waiting to see what was going to happen. They were too busy. We were kind of too busy checking it out before we called the cops. So.
It's kind of a surreal moment when it happens.
Yeah, like this. I remember like it was yesterday. I watched it happen. This guy, 2 guys, they're local guys, and it was like a big race, but there's just 2 local guys that hate each other, and they would always drink in there, like, everybody was drinking. Sorry,
I have to stop you.
All right.
What class of car was we racing?
Dude, I don't even remember.
Okay. I mean, what kind of track was it?
Kingleman. It was probably at an AMSA race.
Okay.
It was probably like GTP or something. You know what?
Here it comes.
There was 2 of them. One of them was your buddy Tom Harrington, my buddy too, but one of them was Tom Harrington. So I'll tell that story because that one's probably more appropriate. So
that's more appropriate.
And it was an AMSA race, and Tom kept coming off in the dead man, right?
Okay.
And the dude who was marshaling the dead man was a local, and he was fucking hammered. And every time Tom came off, Tom would yell at him. And back then, Tom was a little jacked up. He was really jacked up. I mean, he was pretty serious about it, And so he'd yell at the guy, "Put my fucking car on," blah blah blah. And the guy's like, "Yell at me again? I'm throwing your car on the floor." Next lap through,
He'd been warned.
Tom came off, I'm pretty sure on purpose, yelled at him, and the guy's he's like this. He's like he's waiting to marshal cars really fast, and he picks it up and he goes bam, and then goes right back to the corner like nothing happened. Like he didn't just fucking spike Tom's car on the floor. And the guy who owns the place was running the race on one of those remote buttons, and he was in shock. And he didn't even do nothing. And Tom looks at him. He's like, well, aren't you going to do anything about this? And the track owner's like, I don't know what to do, man. Just put your car back on, you know?
Was this a track call yet? Oh, yeah, because he's –
No, it was never a track call. It was never a track call. And this whole time, Tom's like, you know, what's going on here, you know? And the guy who owned the track, he didn't want anything to do with this conflict. So he just was like, whatever, I'm keeping the track on, you know?
Right.
And so Tom goes up and gets face-to-face with this hillbilly. And basically, Tom says –
Stop.
Go ahead. All right.
When you're in the South, two guys are arguing. Who do you know which one's the hillbilly?
Well, this guy was a little more – this guy – I don't really think Tom's a hillbilly. I don't consider him a hillbilly.
Well, he's, I think, originally from Texas or Mississippi or Louisiana.
This guy was like redneck hillbilly.
Okay. Remember, guys, this is Ralph from the South talking now.
Yeah. So, and to clarify this, I don't consider myself a redneck or hillbilly. So, okay. So,
hey.
So Tom gets face to face with this guy, and Tom goes, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" And this guy gets up in his face. He goes, "Motherfucker, I'm the man you wish you were." and Tom's like, he doesn't know what to do. And then third hillbilly comes in. He's been drinking, and he's like, "Let's go to the parking lot." And Tom's like, all right, let's do it. So 3 of them are heading in the parking lot. Well, Tom's going to go at it with this one guy, and this other guy's like, you touch him, I'm going to get my rifle out of the truck. So the other guy goes over to his truck to get his rifle, and at that point, Tom just kind of backs away, and he's like, all right, well, maybe we ought not to do that. We ought not to do this right now.
Okay, so Tom didn't have a gun.
No, Tom, in this one, no, Tom didn't know.
So the motto of this story is never bring a slot car to a gunfight.
Basically.
Or your hand controller.
But I mean, you know, the motto is it's really not that serious. Really, that's the
right.
Motto. You know, I mean, like somebody could have lost their life.
Well,
in about 20 more seconds. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the key thing was alcohol was involved. So.
Yeah, well, that was probably the
nothing against alcohol,
factor. But yeah,
nothing against alcohol, but
I mean that place there. I mean, it would be nothing for 1 or 2 guys to get a DUI and leaving the parking lot every month.
That happened?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Was
it close to a bar or something?
There's like a wing joint next door, yeah.
And they had alcohol?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They just go by pitcher after pitcher after pitcher. You know?
Okay.
And they'd get loaded before the race started.
Gotcha.
You know? And then they bring beer with them, and they'd have them in like styrofoam cups, and they drink between heats and whatever. Yeah, all the time they were getting DUIs leaving the parking lot all the time.
Wow.
So. Yeah, that was a crazy place. Really nice track, though.
Really nice track. Where'd the track wind up going? There's your segment. Where are the tracks now?
Well, the track's sitting in a garage about 2 miles from my house, actually.
Okay.
With water damage.
Okay.
So. But yeah, sorry, so that's my story. It's better than my rant, I guess.
From fire trucks to guns.
Yeah. The worst hotels were always in Chicago when I went with you. I was when I always had my worst hotel experiences.
Well, yeah, the Motel 6.
I don't think it was Motel 6. I think it was like a Red Roof or a Super 8 there. Whatever we stayed at for a while every time we went to Chicago.
Well, that was a Red Roof.
Man, that place was the worst.
Well, the rooms weren't bad. It's just the neighborhood wasn't
Yeah,
good.
it was the neighborhood. Right. For sure.
What do you want? Clean bed? Kind of noisy, seedy outside, or real nice outside and crappy bed?
All I ask for is that I wake up in the morning with everything I went to bed with. That's it.
Yeah. And the windows aren't bashed out of your car in the morning.
Right. I won't leave with what I came with. That's it.
I thought you were talking about the Motel 6. Anytime you go to a hotel and the carpet crunches when you walk on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's your sign.
Yeah. So, okay, so here's one I thought of, right? Like, and we're probably running kind of long now. Sorry. But quickly. Every time I go to a track and I get there like on a Thursday or Friday, I mean, I always leave my stuff there, right?
Yeah.
But people always ask me, is it safe to leave your stuff here? And I'm pretty sure that I've never had anything stolen from my slot car box ever.
Okay.
I mean, have you ever had a problem leaving your box at a track overnight? Like, have you ever had something bad happen?
Okay, it was okay. If I've been racing 37 years now, almost 37 years. Probably the first half of that, we would never leave our boxes at the track overnight. But that said, we usually took our stuff back to the hotel and worked on it until 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
Right.
So, it wasn't until probably we would start leaving our stuff. But I've never had anything come up missing except for I was at a race in 1988 or 89, and I had a Slate Tech Block come up missing. I won't say it was stolen. I could have had it, set it somewhere. Somebody else might have grabbed it, used it accidentally, put it away, took it home. Don't know. So I'm not going to say it was stolen, but it was never to be seen again.
No.
After that event, it was kind of a Tech Block jig. I had it drilled to do some kind of jig work on it. But
so basically, in all your years, you've had one thing.
Only one thing at a race. Yeah, I've lost plenty of stuff myself. Like yesterday, I was using something and went to go find an hour later, and I couldn't find it, and I'm backstepping. I'm backtracking everything I've been in the building here, and I'm like, I don't know what I did with it. So then I sat down and started kind of working, and I lifted my cell phone up, and what I was looking for was under my cell phone. I guess I'd set my cell phone down on it. Didn't realize it was a little pack of reamers, you know what I'm saying? So I found it.
Yeah, like when we were at Hobby Max, like somebody asked me, they're like, are you sure you want to leave your stuff here?
Well,
I was like, I mean, look, if somebody robs this place, and this place is huge,
right,
and they bypass tens of thousands of dollars of RC inventory to steal my slot car box,
right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd just be out my slot car box, but
well,
I didn't see that happening though.
Right. I mean, now I've been to some tracks where I've been told, do not leave your boxes in here overnight because we may be broken into, or and we won't be responsible.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. And they said, matter of fact, I think Speed Zone and Peachtree City said that, they would say, if you leave your box in here overnight, you're just not responsible, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
But.
So, I mean, I've never really left my box somewhere long term. I mean, I've been to tracks where guys actually
never took their box home.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty common.
that was kind of
for local racers. That's pretty common.
And I noticed that a lot of like raceways that have drag strips. A lot of drag racers will leave their stuff at the raceway.
Right. Oh, they do.
You know,
a lot of them will padlock it or something,
yeah,
but they leave stuff there.
But they leave it there. But
I think a lot of these guys just don't have like workbenches or something at home.
Well, that could be.
I don't know.
Right. No, that was something because I seen, Will Beach, a drag racer, he posted up today, cleaned his, on Facebook, he posted a picture of his workbench. First time I've cleaned it in 10 years. And I said, well, now you won't be able to find anything. And I thought, well, that'd be an interesting topic. Like, okay, so like, we got to get going, I know, but when you work on your stuff, do you have a dedicated work area? Or do you just work like on a kitchen table or?
Well, yes, I have a dedicated work area.
Okay.
But as in my old age, I tend to get too lazy to carry my equipment all the way to the dedicated work area. So I end up just putting it on my kitchen table because it's right by the front door.
Right.
So I don't know, sometimes I work on it in my workshop, sometimes
right.
Table. But it takes me about a week to get my shit out of the car nowadays, though, after a race. So
if you lived up north, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Unless you want your stuff deep froze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first started racing, I would always leave the slot car box in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, go in, race, come out, put it in the back seat because it was a little box, and then it'd stay there until the next time I raced, and then go back in the back seat. And I don't remember working on stuff a lot at the track, but I guess I would. Well, okay. When I first started racing, and I was still living with my father, taking care of him. We had a back utility room that I kind of converted into a work area.
Mm-hmm.
So I would that's where I would mount bodies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I was just a womp racer. So you didn't need, but over the years, I mean, like when I worked at Parma, we first rented a small apartment when we first moved there, and there was really no work area. So I worked on everything on the kitchen table. So, I had a little area I set in my boxes, and then once my oldest was put to bed, 9 o'clock or whatever, and then out would come the boxes on the table and work till midnight, put everything away, put it back on the floor, go to work, come home, and then start it all over again.
Yes, that's the nice part about living the fabulous bachelor life is you can keep it on the table 24/7.
So wherever you want.
Kitchen table never gets used anyway. So
right. So yeah, I mean, over the years, I mean, I've had a lot of different work areas, but
yeah, I mean, like I set up the super nice fancy shop that everybody dreams of, but I mean, it's like I don't know. It was cool at first, but then it was like I can really just do this anywhere.
Well, I mean, I've got 2 or 3 rooms here. I could set up any one of those rooms to just be dedicated, but
right,
I just haven't done it. It's like
right
in my kind of meeting room area. There's a table, and boom, it goes up there, and
right.
And usually anymore. I mean, I usually work on my stuff more when I get to the track than I do here at the shop because I really never have time to really work on it depends on what time of year it is. I mean, like the last 3 weeks, I haven't really had time to work on anything of my own.
Yeah.
I've been so busy doing other stuff. So, but I know I got to come out. So my choices are either tonight or tomorrow I break down and make time to mount a couple of bodies, or I'll be doing it Friday night at the hotel room.
See, I hate doing shit in the hotel room. Like, I won't do it.
I grew up that way.
I won't do it. I want to go back to the hotel. I just want to chill out.
See, back in the day, most all the pro guys would go, like, say, if they didn't race till Sunday, they'd come in town maybe Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, set up camp at the hotel, and you wouldn't see them until late Saturday night when they knew they could come in and run some stuff because all the other racing was done.
Right.
And then you wouldn't see them again until because they take their stuff back and work on it. No one really worked on their stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I mean that's how Randy was. I mean, he worked on something every night at the hotel.
Right.
No matter what.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, what's the secret word of the show?
Secret word of the show. You know, someone said something the other day. I'll be damned if I can remember it now. So, let's just say the secret word will be R4 because that's the big race next week.
All right. R4 it is.
Not a word. R4.
There you go.
R4.
AREFOUR.
R4. R4.
R4.
Oh, that might start a gunfight somewhere.
Yeah, be careful. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time, episode 31. Be safe this weekend. Have fun.
Have a good weekend. Good luck.